Hi guys. Hope you're having a good, is this Thursday? Wow, it's already Thursday. Crazy. Um, don't mind me. I had a really rough night last night. And I'm either purging mine or the collective or both, throat chakra. So I'm clearing out the throat chakra. I'm sneezing a lot of nasal allergies, symptoms, things like that, which shouldn't be happening now because I took my medicine and it's like not doing anything. So that's very interesting. But I'm also coming on here to share with you what happened to me last night. It was a scary experience, but apparently my oversoul and my subconscious knew exactly what to do, which really, makes me feel better. So it was in a dream, but we all know that dreams are not really dreams, they're actually alternate realities, or that they're like, you're actually out on the ethereal plane, and that way there's no time and space, so things can happen. So what I was doing was I was in a battle. So last night around 3:30, I kind of woke up feeling weird. And we all know that between 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning is the quote-unquote bewitching hour, where spirits and entities can come through and talk to us and give us messages and things, or we can be, inundated with negative entities that want to harm us or whatever or whatnot. It's just where the veil is thinner. There, it's not as dense. So last night for me was kind of hard because I woke up at 3:30 feeling kind of off, but then I went back to sleep, and then I woke up from a really not nice dream at 4 o'clock in the morning. I had to call my good friend, my It's Complicated buddy, and ask him if he was okay, and because he's a spiritualist too. He's like the guy that I believe is my twin flame. He is also a sensitive, and his mother was a sensitive, so I wanted to get his input on what was going on. So I don't mean to be dodging the thing, but it's still very fresh in my mind, so it's still giving me a little like palpitations and stuff. But anyway, so I had this dream that I was in this house here last night, in the front room, my old room, which is actually right up in here. That's my window to my old room, when I used to live here as a kid. And it was present day. It was like I'm talking to you right now. My grandparents were there too, but it was weird because my grandmother could actually walk. She didn't have any problems with her back or anything. So it was very interesting, and I was in my room and I was not feeling good, and then all of a sudden there was like this entity. Ooh, another monarch butterfly, guys. Okay, that makes me feel better about sharing this. So there was wow, it's really close. There was this entity that was in the closet. Now, when I was a kid, I used to have dreams about the closet being like monsters in my closet and stuff, like all kids really do. And I don't really know why that is, why like spirits seem to like closets and things. Probably because it's like a door, so it's like a doorway. I'm pretty sure that's kind of what it is. If anybody else in here kind of has some ideas about that, I'd love to hear it. But yeah, I've always had, like when I was a kid, I had dreams where there's negative entities in my closet and like possibly portals. Same thing with the basement. But anyway, so I had this thing, and I'm like, no, because when I was a kid, I used to have a dream that I'd be like, you get out of my closet right now, you do not belong in there. And then it would go away for a couple days and it would be fine. And then I'd sage. So I kind of knew about it when I was a kid. But this time around, I was there, and I was like, I couldn't get it out of my closet. I couldn't like clear it. And it ended up kind of like going in the hallway, and then Mom was there, and then I ended up, all of a sudden there was this priest, like this exorcism guy priest there, and he said, okay, we need to get rid of this. And so we were all of a sudden in the middle of the downstairs, right where my grandparents have a bedroom in the back here, and right near that transition to the side door here, which is underneath my current bedroom. My bedroom's on the other side of the house now. And all this weird stuff was going on, and I opened up the door to the cellarway, and I could feel that there was a portal down there, or a negative entity, and they were all trying to, like, come out, and that was, like, it was, like, down to hell, so to speak, if you want to go that way. But it was very unnerving, and I didn't like it, and I shut the door right away. And I was yelling at whatever it was. I say, you get out of my house, you do not belong here. And I said all the, the Lord's Prayer and stuff like that, and, whatever. And then the priest guy was all like, okay, we need to get rid of this. This is not good. So I didn't see anything. I just felt it. And, like, kind of down in the cellar, I saw, like, a red, orangish, like, portal type thing. Which, I've had weird dreams about the cellar here, too, when I was a kid. So anyways, then it, like, I shut the door, and then it went away. And then the guy said, okay, we need to start saying the Lord's Prayer. So in the dream, we said the Lord's Prayer, and I knew it by heart. I've gone to church. I have a church side. I went to Baker Memorial Methodist, so I was raised Methodist. I have history that way, so I always knew the Lord's Prayer. Always have. So in the dream, I'm just like, okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden, all these weird things happened. All the things started shaking. There was this whoosh of wind. And then all of a sudden, towards the door on the side, I saw this person, but it was like a ghost outline. And they were like white, but like kind of like speckled, kind of like when you put like a piece of chalk and you do it lengthwise on a chalkboard. You know how, like, the black chalkboard comes through somewhat when the chalk doesn't go fully? So it was kind of like that, like, weird mesh. So that image of the person, and it was clear because the person had glasses, and they were a male. They were on the outside of the door, on the window. And then all of a sudden they came in when we were done with the Lord's Prayer and attacked me. Came directly at me. So immediately I grabbed its arms before it could, like, bear hug me. And I said, no, you do not have power to be over me. You do not have power to this. So I did all this stuff. I put my foot in its stomach, and I pushed it down to the ground, and I said, you go down to the lower realms where you came from. And, like, I did this whole thing without falter, which I would now. So, like, it freaked me out. And then finally that guy, like, laughed because I said, Archangel Michael, take this guy, or this, whatever it is. And I said demon, but I don't know if it was or what. It could be a negative spirit. I don't know. Because usually demons are darker. They don't necessarily come as a white, shadowy figure. But I don't know. It's just weird. So anyways, I push it down, and then it kind of fades in the floor and into the basement and down. And then I felt kind of relieved, but the priest guy turns around to me and he says, because it wasn't fully cleared out of the room, the energy was still kind of off. So I said, I'm like looking at him going, what's going on? And he turns around and he said, it's not done yet. And then I wake up. Okay. So I'm like, what the hell? And I'm like, what's going on? And then so immediately I call my guy friend, and I'm like explaining it to him, and he goes, okay, you need to sage. So I put the sage in the thing, and immediately what I started saying was the prayer, the our Lord who art in heaven, the Lord's Prayer. And I didn't remember it. I couldn't get through the first section. And I'm like, that's not good. Because I know it by heart. And I'm like I'm calling upon Archangel Michael. I'm calling upon all the angel, friends and everything. And I'm saying, Jesus' name and things like that. I know this is not religious necessarily, but... So then I did that whole thing, and I'm like surrounding myself with the white light of the Holy Spirit and, all that stuff. And I'm talking to him, and he's even yelling through the phone, you do not have any rights to attach to this person. You don't have any rights to be anywhere in this building or on this property. We did the whole thing. And then I was kind of like going around and being like, okay, this is weird. And then his phone cuts out. And when I went to try to look up, he called me back a couple minutes afterwards. But when I went to try to look up, right before that, I went to try to look up the Lord's Prayer on Facebook, because I have data on my phone, and it would not load. And it had said failure to load. So immediately I called upon Archangel Michael to help me remember the prayer and say it out loud. And I did. It wasn't, exactly right, but it to the point where it said, deliver us from evil, because I could not remember that line in it. I could not remember deliver us from evil. And I thought that was really creepy, because that is the thing, that when we're attacked by a negative entity or something, it doesn't want us to remember that, because that holds power over it, because then it can't be around us, because in Jesus' name, blah 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 blah, all that stuff. It's got to obey. I mean, that's the laws of the universe, If you say no, it's got to be like, okay, free will. Anyway, so then after I said that, I said delivers from evil and stuff, then it started loading. It was a little bit slower. So then after that, I found the image, and I read it word for word off of the image just to recertify and claim that this is what's going on. So I saved it to my device in case this ever happens again. But yeah, that was kind of concerning. So after that, the phone cut out. So that's when I read it again after I had saved it, luckily, to my device, and I asked all the angels to come with me. And then he called me back and he said, okay, go check on Grandma and Grandpa because they're elderly and who knows what's going on. Oh, and another thing, right before I woke up, I heard like a banshee scream. Like, I don't know nothing about banshees. I mean, I'm kind of Irish, but I don't have an Irish necessarily hardcore lineage. But I did hear like that scream. And usually, get off me. Woo. Now that was odd. Bug just landed on my back right after I said that. I don't like that. Okay. But right before I said that, it's like, usually when you hear that, it usually means somebody in your family's gonna die. That's the theory of what a banshee is, in our Irish culture. So, that might be true. My grandparents my grandfather was 95, my grandmother was 91. I mean, it might be true, but it's nothing new that way. So, after that, I did do the whole thing about everybody being like, okay, protect everybody, make sure they're all safe, and things like that. So yeah, it was kind of crazy, and then I went down, checked on my grandparents. They were okay. My grandfather was actually walking up because he was hungry, trying to get stuff out of the refrigerator, so that was reassuring, because I was like, okay, he's acting his normal self, so there's nothing wrong there. My grandma was sleeping fine, so I put, I do Young Living essential oils, and I had a diffuser, so I put the sage. You can do whatever you want. You can get, if you have paper sage or whatever, just as long as you get sage to clear out the energy in the room. So I put sage in the diffuser, and the diffuser has not been used in long time. So, that was interesting, but I'm like, Mom can't hear anyway, so I'm going to get this going. So that was good. And I got that going. I got the sage in my room going. I did the crosses on all of my doorways and all of my windows and anything that's like a portal, to make myself feel better. I did it on me first, and then I went around the rooms and did it from the ground up, because you want to go from the ground up. Ooh, cicada is really loud right now. And then I kind of just kept talking, getting my mind out of it and clearing it out, until like 6 a.m. And then I kind of went to sleep again. So yeah, that was pretty scary. And this is the second time that I've felt like I've been attacked after certain things have happened. Now, I don't know if it was something that attached to me from being over at the house with this other guy that was living there with the guy that it's complicated with, my twin flame, because he's all sorts of crazy. So, and then his wallet was there, so I touched the wallet when I put it under his door, so that could have been an attachment thing, or it could just been from the girl who was living here, something maybe, but I don't think it's that, because that would have happened beforehand. Or it could just be the fact that I am now activated as a sensitive, and these spirits come and they're going to try to stop our light. So they're going to attack us. So we know like how to, naturally, it's automatic because we are spirits of light and we are parts of the universe and God and the source. So we already know what to do. I mean, and then this just goes to the battles that we have when we're sleeping. Like if you don't remember your dream or you're having very vivid dreams, this is also what's going on, because we are astral traveling when we're sleeping. So there is a lot of different things going on, and as the earth raises its vibration and we go and we ascend and raise our vibrations into the 5D and further, we'll start getting more and more attachments trying to come and attack us from other dimensions, trying to stop us from sharing our light and making it so that people are quote-unquote not in the matrix anymore and waking up. So yeah, that's my story. I'm still kind of shaking from it. It was kind of creepy, and it's still daytime, so I'm still kind of creeped out about it, but it was so lifelike, and it was weird. And I don't usually have dreams like that. Usually if I have a dream, it's usually something about something I've seen today, on the or that night before on the news, or what I've talked about, and it's just kind of jumbled. But these dreams that are coherent, they follow a path, they're like our reality, that's, you do one action equals another action like you would in everyday life. They're vivid colors if you dream in like a lot of vivid colors, and if you remember it like that. A lot of them usually mean that either you're visiting a past loved one, you're on the other side, or you're astral traveling and you're actually doing something else. I had another dream about a month ago now when I first moved in here where I was fighting a negative entity, and it was like from, other people would say like demons, and like with, like, I want to say like a lower dimension or a fire dimension. If you've ever seen the movie Avatar, no, not Avatar, sorry, the Airbender, where they had the 4 quadrants, one's air, earth, fire, and water. Well, it was like that thing coming towards me, and I was in a field, and there were all these beings that looked human that were coming at me, but they had powers, like they had powers of fire. So the guy was throwing fireballs at me, and I was really low and really like tired, but I knew I could stop them because they were going to hurt my family. So I was on the front line. So I went like this, and I said no, and all of a sudden ice came right out of my hand, and it was freaking like a freaking sci-fi movie, guys. It was crazy. I enveloped this guy, and he went, pfft. He like blew into smoke or water vapor or whatever, and then he just kind of went, and then it just ended up stopping, and I was like, okay, I was just exhausted, and I felt like that last push was going to kill me, so to speak. It was my last energy on the battlefield. So then I just kind of like, when I woke up from that one, I was extremely drained, and I had to kind of like sleep or just chill out for that day, that 24-hour period in reality, because I was just so exhausted. And I know that was an actual astral trip. My spiritual self was actually in battle somewhere, I don't know where, different dimension somewhere, to help them stop a charge of the negative entities and things like that. So apparently on that planet, or wherever I was, I had ice powers. Who knows? So that's kind of cool. So yeah, these dreams, these things are signs for us to remember who we actually are as we're ascending. More and more of them will probably pop up, not necessarily the negative ones, but more and more of the ones, like you'll start having dreams about like who you were in a past life, possibly, things like that. You'll have dreams more vividly of your deceased ancestors or your family members. You'll come to you, and you can just have like a chit chat or whatever. I'm seeing a lot of feathers here now that when I left for a while, I wasn't seeing any feathers. Blue jay is one of my animals. So I see blue jay feathers all the time now. And I saw a 4-leaf clover the other day in my lawn, and a 5-leaf clover. And it was especially during the time that I was really sad. So that's another thing too. We're getting waves of energy. So we'll have a period where we'll be really lethargic, really tired, flu-like symptoms, things like this. And then after that, we'll have a blissful period. We're going to be like, oh my God, I feel so much better now, because I cleansed it. I got out what I needed to get out to clear my chakras and things. And then I'm able to integrate what was downloaded and upgrade my crystalline structure. So there's a lot of stuff going on. And why it's so taxing on us right now is because there's so much happening at once. So it's just a constant purge, bliss, purge, bliss, purge, bliss. And it's actually congruent along everybody that I've been talking to. All the other spiritual seekers and things like that. Now, Jamie mentioned that something about, she posted something about 8D reality, that we're merging all timelines and we're going into 8D. So that's interesting. And then she said something about her land being a portal too for something else. So it's very interesting, and a lot of different things are going on. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Just know if you've had these dreams, you're not alone, because I've had them too. And if you haven't had them, that's fine. That's all good. You don't need them, apparently, right now. You're doing something else, and not everybody remembers their dreams, which means that they're just so exhausted from doing their astral travels that you don't really right now need to remember that in this reality right now. You'll remember it when you need to remember it, because it'll be a catalyst for you to share or for you to help somebody else out when you need to. We're all on different paths, so we all have different tasks that we were assigned when we came here to help ascend Mother Earth and Gaia and, everybody else. So, all right, I'm gonna get off. I gotta eat some, lunch now. So, yeah, crazy stuff, guys, crazy stuff. But I have Sage on me all the time now. Hey, Kendra. So I definitely, that was it. I love my birds. I love being out here too. I put more bird seed out, and that was a pileated woodpecker. Watch for animals and things too. They will give you messages as well. Your spirit totems and things. If like pennies are left at your ancestors or your deceased loved ones or things like that. So there's and feathers. A lot of feathers come from people who are on the other side that are seeing you struggle, and they're like, it's okay, I'm here with you, even though you can't see me. They're all reassuring things. So things that smells, phantom smells. I know a bunch of you were mentioning in here that you guys got some phantom smells, things like that. Usually it's like spirit and things that do that. It's a way for them to help us comfort ourselves so we can keep going, and not give up on our missions here on Earth. All right, if you haven't seen it, catch the replay, do #replay. So I've known that you've seen this. I know a lot of people are happy now that this group is secret, so I'm excited about that one too. So if you need to share something, some of the buttons have share on them because they've already previously been shared. Some of them won't. You'll have to go in and see if it shows up on your wall or not. If it doesn't, go into the actual post per se, that gives you to the actual page, and then share it from the actual page because that page is actually public and that's how you can share it. All right. Any other questions? Feel free. I love seeing you guys comment on the wall and do that. I try to get back to you as much as I can. It's just my life has been crazy, and we're still in Mercury retrograde for a little bit. So another thing too is lots of sneezing and coughing of clearing the throat chakra. And that's been a common occurrence throughout a lot of people right now. So it's a lot of, speaking our truth and getting the truth out there. All right, keep up the good work, my soul sisters and my spirit sisters. I love you guys. I believe you guys are family, like another branch of my family. So everybody have a great day. Get out in the sun, sunbathe if you can, do whatever you got to do to chillax and relax and just enjoy it. I mean, we're almost into August now. Crazy! It's going so fast. So everybody enjoy. Love, light, and blessings. Namaste. See you guys.